Today we're going to be making monster rattles out of clay. The first step that you're going to want to do is to make 2 pinch pots. So I'm going to take my clay and I'm going to section it off into 2 equal sizes that I can make 2 pinch pots out of. You're not going to want to use all of your clay, because we need to save this extra for details later. So I'm just going to set this part aside, and I'm going to make my 2 pinch pots out of these 2 pieces. To make a pinch pot, you're going to want to squish your chunk of clay into a ball. You can roll it around on your placemat if you need to. So you get a nice round ball shape. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hold your ball in one hand and you're going to push your thumb through your ball, not all the way, just part of the way. And then you're going to get out your pincher fingers, because we're making a pinch pot, and you're going to pinch all the way around your pinch pot until it's about the size that you would like. We don't want to make these too big. Just look at the example if you need an idea of how big to make your pinch pots. So there's one. Okay, so I have 1 pinch pot done. I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to work on my next one the exact same. Looks about the same. Next, you're going to grab that extra clay that you had. Here's my extra clay. And you're going to peel off itty bitty pencil size pieces, pencil eraser size pieces. You're going to want about 4 or 5 of them. So I did 5. Then I'm going to roll these in my hands until they're little itty bitty spheres. So I have 1, 2. Now I'm going to grab that wet paper towel that I had. I just took a piece of paper towel and I put it under the sink and I wringed out the extra water, and this is what I have left when I unfolded it. You're going to take this wet paper towel and you're just going to peel off some chunks. I made 5 little spheres, so I'm going to need 5 chunks of paper towel peeled off. So I have 4 and 5. And now I'm going to use these 5 different pieces of paper towel to wrap my spheres like a little present. So I'm going to put 1 in the middle of each and wrap it up. Okay, so I have all 5 of my little itty bitty spheres wrapped up in paper towel. Now these are going to be what makes the jingling noise on the inside of your rattle. So these are going to go on the inside. The reason why we wrapped them in wet paper towel is so they don't dry out and so they don't stick together, because if I was to put these unwrapped on the inside of my rattle, the clay would just mush together, and then when it comes out of the kiln, you won't be able to make any noise with your rattle. So the paper towel keeps it nice and moist, and it keeps it separate from the other little spheres. So now I'm going to take these little itty bitty pieces and we're going to put them in one of your pinch pots. And now we need to attach these 2 pinch pots together. To do this so it doesn't come apart, we need to scratch and slip. So I'm going to bring out my clay tools. You can use any tool to kind of make little scratches into where the clay is going to attach. And if you want it super secure, you're going to do the other side too. You just kind of want to rough up the edges. Okay, so I scratched and now I need to slip. So I'm going to take my slip, put some on my fingers, and wipe it on where I just scratched. Okay, now I'm going to be able to attach my 2 pinch pots. Okay, as you see, the 2 pinch pots are attached, but I have this odd looking seam in the middle of mine. I want to get rid of that, so I'm going to take my finger or a clay tool and I'm going to smooth over that seam. So you can use your finger, you just kind of push the clay around. It is very, very important that you don't push too hard because you want the inside of your rattle to stay hollow. If you push in, it's going to cave in and then your rattle won't work in the end. So that's a pretty good shape. And now the next step is to add texture to the whole outside of your rattle. So I think I'm going to use some of these texture tools for clay, and I'm going to push them into my clay piece to get some texture on the outside. Remember, you don't want to press too hard because we don't want it to cave in. We need it to stay hollow on the inside. You can use a clay tool to help you push it in if you need to. Then I'm going to turn it and get some more on the other side. So you can use these different texture things, or you can use tools to make your own textures. So I'm just using the end of this pencil that was with my clay tools to make little dots in the top and bottom of my piece. Okay, now comes the fun part. Once you have texture all the way around, you get to start deciding what you want your monster to look like. Mine, the texture I used kind of made it look like scales, so maybe I'll make mine some kind of really weird sea creature. So I'm going to use the extra clay that I have to make different pieces that I can add on to my rattle. I'm going to want some eyes. I'm going to do big round eyes. And I think I'm going to put them on either side right here. But remember, we can't just stick it on like this. In order for it to stay when we fire it in the kiln, we have to scratch both pieces where they're going to attach and use your slip and then attach it, because we don't want any pieces falling off our creatures.